My punishment continues to elude me, and I gain no deeper knowledge of it.
Copy the copy the copy.
I love you.
I ended up going on a trip out of state just to see some family, and it was an early morning flight when we took off. The plane was kind of crowded, but it looked like most of the people there had fallen asleep, so it was really quiet. And as I was just kind of sitting there, I happened to get a seat next to one of the windows. I looked out as we took off, and all the buildings and the cars driving by and the whole city, everything just started to get more and more smaller. You know, as you're going thousands of feet up in the sky, in a metal box that's just way up in the sky, you know, going past the clouds even. And as the plane got higher and higher, I noticed how small everything is. And it really did make me feel so small, insignificant around everything, because all of a sudden you can see almost the whole town once you're at a certain spot in the sky, how big the world actually is. And of course I know that, but being up in a plane, you really see just how small everything starts to become, and you can no longer see the people walking by. Everything starts to become less and less detailed as you go higher up, but you see more and more. And as I was sitting in my chair, and it was really quiet, and I couldn't use my phone because of airplane mode, of course. I mention in every video, but trip was already over a month ago. You know, this year is just flying by. I saw people on the plane that had families or a couple in relationships, and I was just kind of by myself. And being in that plane ride, it did make me feel more alone than ever, even if there was people sitting around me. Even though it's different from what I usually do, and it was kind of a change of pace. You know, once I got there and I was driving past all these really nice houses, I saw that these people, they live in these big houses kind of on a cliffside with these nice porches, and they can kind of overlook it, and they have a nice view of the ocean. Being just a tourist there, it made me think like what a difference it is their lives compared to mine. You know, I feel like a single day in their life is so much different than a whole month in my life. Whenever I would go out and I would go to certain places, I saw these families and, you know, more couples, of course. And I'm just, I do have family, but I am kind of still on my own. Going throughout your day or your life, sometimes it is hard. I don't have a grand goal or a main purpose. I'm just kind of doing things to pass the time. I'm just getting from one point to the next point, trying to stay busy. I have the same goals as everybody else to make money and become content. Being single for a while and just kind of living the same, just existing, just trying to survive and get by to the next day. I am in my head a lot because I do overthink and I think about the future, and I don't even mean it in a depressing or doomer type of way, but I can't help but think like, what is my purpose here? I don't have any skills, or I don't have a reason to go out or do anything. I'm not in the same spot as in life as these other people. College just never seemed to work out. Never seemed like a reliable option, and I did work blue collar. When I'm out and I'm around people, I am kind of just by myself in my own head. I've never really been able to connect with people on like a really simple level, and you don't have these certain skills or any guidance or any direction in your life, and maybe you don't even have the smartness or the IQ required to do certain job or get through certain challenges. You kind of just exist on your own. And again, I don't mean it in like a sad kind of way, but it just makes you kind of wonder, what are you doing it for? Like why were you put here for, right? Is it more of a reason other than two people just really liked each other and then you happen to be born for that? Or do you really have a main purpose, or are you born for a specific reason, or are you just kind of put into this world until you eventually pass on? Waiting for the next day, just trying to get through my shift, get my paycheck. And I try to be responsible and, do all the things that you're expected as an adult. A genuine connection with anybody, not even on like a romantic type of level. And of course, I do have that desire to be with somebody, but I also have that desire to find, who I am, what I'm supposed to be doing here. Because, there's lots of answers out there, but I don't think any of them have ever clicked or stood out to me, or I've been able to make anything out of them. So I kind of am just on my own, whoever I may talk to. And I'm always fighting myself, trying to figure out what I should be doing or what I want to do. Do I have the skills or the smarts to be able to do what I want? Do I have the motivation or the discipline to what I want out of life? Because I don't really know what it is, other than the same as everybody else. It's just to make enough money and get by. Just wondering, like, what will be next? Will there be something meaningful change? Will I be able to do something that's different, that's meaningful? Stuck in my own cycle that I've kind of created. A lot of mental blockage. I haven't even been able to think of what it is I would want to do. It does just feel like I'm just passing time, So I am kind of just living for myself. I always have that question, like, do I want more? You know, is there more out there for me? Because there's so many, there's so much out there in the world. Experiences, there's so many experiences and people that I might pass by or see online. So it does stick with me throughout the day, wanting to be more and wanting to do more. What that would be.